What up? What up? What up, man? It's your man, Doctor. It's your man, King Ray Ray. Salute. Alex Jackson. Salute, brother. Salute. Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Appreciate all the brothers showing up. As usual, man. We're going to do our thing, man. For sure, for sure, for sure. Y'all give me a minute. Let me grab a bottle of water here, man. Let me grab a bottle of water up in the joint, man. Where big old ones? Yeah. All right, let's give the people just a few minutes to get in here, man. I see the brother showing up. Salute to the brother Young J. YMC, my brother. Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Representing the Mod Squad. Othello, almost alpha. What's good, bro? Mike's meticulous. Yo, what up, bro? Kellen Brewer, what up, man? Salute. Elijah Jones II. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you being in the joint, man. SJ3, my brother. Salute to you. Appreciate you being in the joint, man. You doing your thing with the wrench. Rooted Dog, what up, Rude? Salute to you, man. Devon Miles, what up with your fam? Appreciate you being in the joint. Let's give the people just a couple of seconds, man. Rico the Rich, what up, man? Appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. GC, what's good, bro? Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Repping that wrench gang, man. All right, brother Legacy T, what's good, bro? Black Cavi, what up, man? Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, man, elevating the growth, man, of my platforms, man. You know, it's an amazing thing to watch, man, to see it. Simeon, what's good, brother? Appreciate it, man. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all checking out the joint earlier, man, on the main channel, man. You know, it's you know, we gotta be helpers of one another, man. We gotta be teachers of one another, which means we also have to be humble enough to learn from one another. I learn from you men as well, man. Sometimes you men say things in the comment, man, that I have totally forgotten about. Things that I know but don't even apply to my life anymore, man. You know, because, you know, they're not necessary, but just because something isn't necessary in your life at the current time, that doesn't mean you don't keep that information on your brain, because you never know when a situation is going to come upon you instantaneously, and you need to use that information immediately. So a lot of times, man, you know, still sharpen steel, man, and you guys sharpen me as well, man. Rizzy, what's good, man? Anthony Creates, what's good, fam? Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Othello, what up? We're going to go ahead, man, and get ready to do this thing, man, in just a minute here. So I do a lot of consultations with men, man, and the men who have the most issues are men who are trying to live by the illogical teachings of their parents. Most times their mothers, but also their fathers, who either perpetuate the ideology that's presented to them by their mothers, or stands back and doesn't intervene in those teachings that are destined to make a young man live a life that's not especially beneficial to him. Valdez, what up, man? All right, man, let's talk. How to parent yourself properly after having bad parents. Now, when I say having bad parents, that doesn't mean that your parents were just terrible, but that means they dropped the ball in several areas of your development, which is the reason why today a man would feel the need to make adjustments in his ideology, even though that ideology is founded on untruths. Anytime you become an adult and you are living a life that is based on untruths, your understanding of life is based on falsifications of the facts, that is directly relatable to your parents and how they failed in certain areas in parenting you. Now, when you hear a man say that he's the way he is because that's how he was raised, even though he's been burned multiple times via that mindset, but he continues to have it because that's how he was raised. He can't break away from how he was raised. When you hear a man out here who can't break away from doing certain things, when you hear a man who can't get into doing certain things, when you hear a woman who can't break away from certain habits, when you hear a woman who can't get into certain habits that she needs to have. For example, when you see people eating everything on the pig, man, they eat the pig from the rooter to the tutor, man. They eat the pig tail, they eat the pig snout, and everything in between, including the guts. You know what I'm saying? They literally eat the pig from the butt to the gut to the boogers, man. They eat it all. And then when you ask them why they eat that way, they say, well, that's how I was raised eating. Which I understand. I wasn't raised eating those things. I was raised with those things put in front of me on a plate, but I didn't eat them. Tried them once. Even chitlins, man, I tried one little small piece of chitlin one time. And bro, when I tell you it tasted like it smells, I couldn't get the boo-boo taste out of my mouth for a week, man. A week. At some point, you have to become responsible for who you are and how you carry yourself. So let's get into this. How to parent yourself properly after having bad parents. Now, let's talk about why this is necessary. The unreliability and neglect from our parents has left many of us emotionally scarred, emotionally damaged even, well into our adulthoods. Many of us carry scars from childhood, man, into all of our relationships, into all of our interactions with people, into all of our interactions with the world at large, into all of our business arrangements, into everything. If your parents taught you that kumbaya, we're all friends, we're all together, and you keep getting burned by people that you let get close to you, of course, that you have learned the neglect, that's neglect. To teach a child something that's not going to benefit him as an adult, it is not a parent's job to teach a child to things that are going to benefit that child as a child. It is a parent's job to tell a 3-year-old what's going to benefit him at 5 years old, to tell a 5-year-old what's going to benefit him at 8 years old, to tell an 8-year-old what's going to benefit him at 12 years old, and so on and so forth. But if you have been taught these 5-year-old lessons and these things that 5-year-olds are taught, it's like if a kid is selfish with his toys, his parents may teach him, you're supposed to share. Now you got a kid who, no matter what happens, people just use him up because he's been trained to share. He's been trained to give whenever someone asks. That's an emotional scar. To not have the wherewithal or the intestinal fortitude to tell someone no when you should tell them no, that's an emotional scar that you got from your upbringing. Most of the bad habits we have come from the behaviors that we developed due to our lack of parenting or our lack of proper parenting. The bottom line is, it doesn't have to be that way. You know, in some cases, man, we'll create new obstacles in our lives based on that traumatic parenting experience. And when you do that, man, when you create new obstacles in your life, it's kind of like if a man says, you know, when guys say, man, you know, man, all women are bad. I be like, bro, all women aren't bad. When women say all men ain't nothing, I be like, well, you can't say that about all men. You know, say, man, everybody from the hood is a killer, is a hood booger, is whatever they want to call them. I be like, no, man, not everybody from the hood. Some people in the hood genuinely want to get out of the environment. They're doing everything in their power to get out. You know what I'm saying? When they say, well, you can take the boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the boy. Yes, you can, man. There's people from the hood, man, who want to get on the outside of the hood and don't want to be hood in the outside world. They want to be, you know, they want to be more normal. You know what I'm saying? They want to be someone who has a mindset, who has a mentality, who has a way of interacting with people that's productive in other facets of life, in other environments, in other walks of life. These are things that are taught to you by, like if you watch your mom treat your dad poorly, you're more likely to let women treat you poorly. Or on the adverse, you're more likely to be very, very mean and cruel and maybe even abusive to women. But if you see your dad beat your mom, you're more likely to abuse women. On the rare occasion, that has the effect where it makes you say, well, I'm never going to do that. Most times it makes you feel like normal. What your parents teach you is normal becomes your normal. And you get all the way into your adult life. And then you start to feel guilty about the things you've done. So if these things have caused you to do bad things to people, you start to feel guilty about those things. Now you're living with guilt, you're living with shame, and you're living with the pain of being that way in the first place because of your parents' lack of parenting. And when you create these new obstacles in your life based on that traumatic, now some people use it for an excuse. Some people will take the things that they've taught or the things they've learned or the things that happened to them and use it for an excuse not to strive to better themselves. And that happens more times than you will believe. Many people try to use these situations as a reason to not be a good person, to not be a benefit to the people around you, to not grow. And when you do that, these things prevent you from creating the life you want and deserve. You can't create the life you want and deserve. Many men can't go out and start a business because they've been taught that it's always better to have a job. You can trust a job. You can't trust your own business. Well, how about you ask the man that you work for? Ask the owner of the company that you work for why he didn't take that advice. Why he didn't decide that it was better to keep a job. You have people who stay in relationship. You have women who are abused and they stay in the relationship because they saw their mom stay in the relationship. Instead of doing the right thing, leading by example. The problem with most of us is our parents try to lead by words, but as children, we look at actions. We're about actions. We make a transition on our way to adulthood where we start to be about people's words, which is a total detriment. We start to be about people's words because actions have brought us pain. Watching people's actions has brought us pain. So we instantly need pacification for that pain. And pacification for pain comes from words, a kind word, a motivational word. The worst case scenario is when someone was abused by their parents. Verbally abused, physically abused. Those are the worst case scenarios. That requires a long time and a lot of energy to get over, man. So when you deal with this as a child, the lack of confidence and inability to self-love impede our ability to develop healthy relationships and apply ourselves enough to reach our full potential. When you grow into an adult and you have a lack of confidence, let's think about it. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old is supposed to be the most confident time of your life because you're a new, fired up adult with the rest of your life in front of you. You haven't made many bad decisions. You haven't done things that jack up your credit yet. You haven't done things, maybe your parents did, but for the most part, you haven't done things to jack up your credit yet. You haven't done things to end up in the penitentiary yet. You haven't done any of those things. You're pretty much jumping into adulthood with a clean slate. That should be the most confident time of your life. You should feel invincible at that point. But the majority of us lack confidence at that point. We lack the type of confidence necessary to build ourselves into the person we want to become, the person we know we should become. When you can't love yourself, it impedes your ability to develop healthy relationships. You're always expecting the worst. You're always expecting something terrible to happen in every single scenario. The fact that we have been held captive by these sometimes decades-old experiences is an extremely torturous and unfair existence. Think about the man who's been struggling with something since childhood, and he's 40 now. Think about that. Think about the woman who hasn't had any self-esteem since her mother used to call her ugly. Or her mother used to call her even worse things than that. Think about the girl who turned out to be very promiscuous because her mother planted that seed in her brain. Now think about how that promiscuous nature affects her ability to have healthy relationships. She can't have healthy relationships because she needs the encounters, the interaction with multiple men to make her feel whole. When a mama told her whole life, man, she'll never have a man, nobody gonna want her ugly butt, and then she grows up and she becomes attractive, she's only attractive on the outside. Internally, she's still ugly. Same thing with a boy. If you're a boy, man, and you just don't want to play sports, I've seen boys be forced to play football. They just didn't want to play football. Playing football doesn't make you a man. There are gay NFL players. Playing football doesn't make you a man. Playing basketball doesn't make you a man. Playing sports doesn't make you a man. But when you grow up in a single parent household, especially, you have a mother who's trying to toughen you up for whatever reason. And she thinks toughening you up means go out there and play football. She don't understand that physical toughening is not what boys need. Mental and emotional toughening is what boys need, especially when they're in a household without a father. That's exactly what they need, man. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with, man. See, when our prepubescent years have the power to determine the outcome of our next 40 to 50 years, it serves as a very dire reminder of the power of positivity. You have to surround yourself with positive energy. You have to surround yourself with positive energy. That's the bottom line. That's why when people say, man, he be blocking people from his channel, man, no, negative energy. Negative energy. It don't matter to me what you say, but if we're going down the comment thread and you on there talking a whole bunch of foolishness, throwing off the positivity of the comment thread, I'm going to boot you out. You can't create positive energy if you allow negative people to be around. And that's a part of your life. Like, you have to understand that everybody around you needs to be about building you up, which means your circle is going to be small. This is how you guarantee your circle is small. Make sure the people around you are about building you up into the best person you can be. Helping you build yourself to the best person you can be, however they can contribute. Make sure of that. We should all make sure of that. Because with the scars that we all have from our childhood, man, from our lives already, we need people around us who are not going to be doing anything detrimental, especially not intentionally. We have to keep this in mind. These are the type of things we have to face the reality of the world. And the reality of this world is that if you have negative people around you, the effects of that on your life is going to be that your life is going to be filled with negative energy. You can't live a positive life with negative people around you. And you shouldn't expect to have a negative life with positive people around you. If your life is going the wrong way, you got the wrong people around you, you're interacting with the wrong people, you're in the wrong space, you're in the wrong environment, you're doing the wrong things, you're thinking the wrong things, you're watching the wrong things, you're listening to the wrong things, you're eating the wrong things. Anytime your life is not going in a positive direction, you have to check everything in your life, but you start with the people first. You have to. So when you get this reminder of the power of positivity, you cannot thrive without positivity around you, bro. And most of us can't create it on our own, especially when we're young. You have to learn to create positive energy in your life, man. You can't just do it. You have to learn to create positive energy in your life. Because it's not like you're just thriving in positive energy your entire existence. And this is what you have to understand, man. You can't keep being a victim of the past, because here's the issue with being a victim of the past. Nothing from the past can ever be changed. Can ever be changed. It can't even be affected in the most minuscule way. You can never affect anything from the past. It's fruitless. Anyone who's trying to affect something from the past is just not a very intelligent person. You cannot do it, man. You simply can't. But what you can do is take steps to overcome the detrimental effects that those past situations have had on our development. We can't do that. We can look and see what things from our past are holding us back, and then look at our lives and see how it's affecting our lives and meet it head on at the root of the problem. This is where the value of regrowing our shortened childhood joys through self-parenting come into play. Now we get into self-parenting. See, there's two ways to do self-parenting. If you had great parents, you use the things that they did. You may have to add a few wrinkles to it, but you use the ways that they help you cope with issues. Like you think about a child that was molested, and then they told their parents, and their parents got mad at them and told them they were lying. Let's say a girl or a boy who was molested by a stepdad, and they told their parent, and their mother was like, "Oh no, that didn't happen," because the father ain't gonna really be like that. Father gonna go ham, right or wrong. But a mother was, "You're lying. Don't lie on him. He didn't do that to you." And then the girl feels like, and now the girl feels like she's abandoned. The one person she thought she can trust won't do anything. Same thing with a boy. The one person he thought he could trust won't do anything. Think about the scars that come from that. Think about how all your childhood joys are shortened because of that. Think about how you can't even have a healthy relationship. Think about how a young boy might be struggling. He might grow into a man who's having a struggle determining if he has problems with his sexuality, if he's confused sexually about his sexuality, man. These types of things take place, and people are left out here to deal with these things out here in the world, man. Then you have parents where you can tell them something and they go ham. They gonna get into it right then. They about to get to the bottom of this right now. Somebody about to get checked. Somebody might be finna get laid out. Parenting matters so much as far as how we function as adults, man. And that's real talk, man. Salute, Fee. Simeon, appreciate the $2 super chat, bro. Salute. You see, you gotta think about this, man. Because we are creatures of learned behavior as children, many of our coping mechanisms are copied directly from our parents, for better or for worse. So if your parents were ignorers, if they just ignored the problem and they tried to ignore the problem until it goes away, that's what you do as an adult. You never address a problem. You never attack a problem head on. You always just try to ignore it until it goes away. Bad habit. If your parents were the type to go ham every time, if you go up in a household, man, and every time something went down, man, your mama went ham, you seen your mama fight, you seen her go to jail, you seen her get beat up by the cops, you seen her get beat up by other women, you seen her get beat up by a dude, that scars you as a child. Either one way or the other, you're going to become someone who beats on other people or someone who allows other people to beat on you. In these situations, you have to develop your own coping mechanisms. And let me tell you how you do that. You look at those situations and remember those situations. Remember how you felt in those situations. And then think about what you wish you had gotten in those situations. Think about what you wish had happened in those situations. Think about what you needed in order to feel better about those situations. And learn to give that to yourself. Let me tell you what you do. Become the type of parent that you would want to be for your children, and be that type of parent to yourself. Because contrary to popular belief, the inner child in us never dies. The inner child in us never dies. So when you become the type of parent that you want to be for your own children, use that parenting to parent yourself. It works. It works for the inner child in you. See, the adult you has no issues. All of these issues that are left over are remnants of the inner child. These are issues that the inner child has. You have to learn how to parent that child. You have to learn how to make everything right with that child. How do you do that? Now, this is what happens. The problem arises when we as adults cannot apply these coping mechanisms to ourselves in times of stress and difficulty. all of your issues that you have from childhood, if everything's going smoothly, they don't pop up. They only pop up when you face an obstacle, when times get difficult, when you're stressed. That's the only time they pop up. So let me tell you a few things. Think about the inner child. Use your imagination. Use your imagination. If you're facing an obstacle, transfer yourself to the other side of that obstacle with your imagination. Don't think about, hey, this obstacle gonna hold me back. Think about what you're gonna do when you're on the other side of that obstacle. You see what I'm saying? As men, we can only use that fantasy world tactic when we're facing a serious issue and we need some relief for our minds. Use that imagination. You remember when you're a child, man? A child would transfer themselves to somewhere else. A child would imagine, man, that they lived, in a cave or on a mountain, or they would imagine that their dog was Bigfoot, or they would imagine something. They would imagine that, their little play 18-wheeler, they would have just imagined that they're driving all the way across the country, and they made a bridge from the USA to Russia, and they just kept on driving, and every country they got to, they built a bridge so they could drive from country to country in their 18-wheeler. But that gives you an escape. You have to learn how to create an escape for yourself, man, especially if you're in a relationship. You have to learn how to create an escape for yourself, man. Like when you're a bachelor, you just living, you chilling. This is your escape. Like I'm in my escape right now. I'm already escaped. I'm free from the world right now. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to do this for yourself. Even if your parents didn't, you knew that's what you needed. You need someone to let you know that after this is over, it's going to be all right. And the children who didn't have that, they used their imagination to transplant themselves to a better place until things got better. Now, as an adult, you're not transferring yourself physically as you think you are in a child. You're transferring yourself mentally. You're putting yourself, whatever part of you is in pain, you're putting it on the other side of the issue so you can use the best parts of you, the healthy parts of you, the active parts of you, the effective parts of you to overcome the issue. Secondly, use laughter. When I tell you guys all I watch on TV is comedies, bro, I'm serious. I don't have no problems. I don't have no stresses. You know what I'm saying? I laugh too damn much. Every day I watch something to make me laugh, man. Listen, bro, I'll pull up a whole season of Wild 'N Out, man. Just DC Young Fly and Justina Valentine battling one another. I pull up a whole season of Michael Blackson on Wild 'N Out, man, and I'll just sit there and just watch it, man. I'll sit and watch it for an hour sometime until the whole episode. I mean, they're rarely an hour, but maybe for 35 minutes. I sit there and watch an entire season of the best of DC Young Fly. Just sit and watch the whole thing and laugh like hell. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that. You know why? Because you need that. Laughter is medicine for the bones, for the soul. The word of God tells you so much. Laughter is medicine. And if you ain't spending no time laughing, bro, you're going to be in bad shape, homie. Real talk. Elijah Jones II, bro. Appreciate the big $100 super chat, man. Sponsorship of the show, bro. I appreciate that. Brother always supporting, bro. I appreciate you. Brother said amazing gems here we all need no matter the age or circumstances. Radiant blessings, everyone. Salute to you, brother. Great comment, man. And appreciate the super chat, brother. Real talk. Man, laughter is the most important one on this list. Laughter is the absolute most important thing on this list, man. It is so important. That's why, man, guys who are always mugged up all the time, always angry, man, I don't deal with guys. I don't still deal with cats that's always angry. If you always angry, man, you got some real issues. I know cats with money that's always angry. I know cats with women that's always angry. I just know some cats that's always angry, man. No matter what, they always angry. And I don't deal with those cats, man. You know what I'm saying? We just can't kick it, man. The energy is too raw. I laugh, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I'm out taking care of business, doing the things that I do, man, I ain't out there hee and ha while I'm taking care of business. When I'm on here with y'all right now, man, you don't see me doing no laughing. But when I'm chilling and I need to decompress, bro, I pull up some, man, and I just laugh, bro. I do that, man. I laugh. You know what I'm saying? I always find something to laugh about, man. Somebody tell me something funny, man. Somebody did an interview, man. Cat Williams in the interview, man, or something, man. I'm on it. I'm on it. Another thing, man, you got to be able to give yourself a pep talk. As a grown man, you should never lack confidence going anywhere. Pep talk yourself, man, until you build up the confidence to go do what you need to do. Give yourself pep talk. You understand? Man, listen, bro. I rarely need a pep talk now, but I recall times I did. Hey, man, what you gonna do? Just go to opportunity right here, man. You just gonna sit here? You been working your whole life for this, man. What you gonna do? Sitting here, man, worried, man. Sitting here shaking like a leaf, man. What's wrong with you, man? Get it together, dog. This opportunity may never come, and I'm gonna tell you like this. You know how God is, man. This opportunity, man, if you miss it, it's gonna go to somebody else and ain't coming back again. You about to mess up our whole life, man, because you shook. Get up and go get it, man. Get up and go get it, bruh. We need this, man. I need it. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself, do it for me. You responsible for me too, dog. It ain't just you in this by yourself. You responsible for me. If you don't eat, I don't eat. But you the only one can go get it. I can't go get it. I just got to sit here in your head. I could have dealt with you, man. You just say what I put in your head, and I promise you it'll work. Man, you got to be a self-motivator. You got to be a self-motivator. You got to pep talk yourself, man. You ain't got no time for no pep rally. You got to be your own pep rally. You have to do that, man. And this isn't a plaything, man. You have to go out there in the world, man. You got to go out there and get what's out there for you, because nobody's going to bring it and drop it off at your door. Opportunity does not knock on doors. Opportunity is out running the streets, trying to bump into the people that's out there in the streets trying to get it. It is not knocking on doors, brother. I can promise you that. Any opportunity that knock on your door, man, is not an opportunity that you want. Opportunity got to come. Now, opportunity may knock on your car window while you out there trying to get it, but an opportunity ain't coming to your crib knocking on your door. Amazing keeping it real. Appreciate the $7 super chat, bro. You have to understand, man, that getting yourself that kick in the butt that you need to get up and go get it, you got to give it to yourself. Even if you're in a situation, if you're in a relationship that's bad for you, man, you got to give yourself that kick in the pants that make you get on about that thing, man. You can't be holding on to a situation that's bad for you. Go, well, man, I don't know, man. I mean, man. I don't know, man. I'm just used to it, man. She got these bills, man, and, I don't want to leave with these bills, man, and, man, we built that house together, man, blah. Man, I don't want to hear all that. Motivate yourself, do what's best for you. If staying there's best for you, do it. If staying for you is not, don't do it, man. Being a people pleaser, like the homie SJ says, being a people pleaser is the recipe for disaster in your life. Being a people pleaser is the recipe for failure in your life. Being a people pleaser is the recipe for being used and abused in your life. 100% of the time. And another thing, the last step, man, that you have to apply to your life, you have to learn how to encourage yourself. You have to learn how to encourage yourself, man. You have to learn how to encourage yourself. You have to take it upon yourself to keep yourself motivated to keep going. When times get tough, when it seems like you all alone, so what? You ain't all alone. You got two sides of yourself. You got the man you and you got the spirit you. You already too deep. Stop treating yourself like you ain't got nobody else. You got your spirit, man. Use your spirit to guide you. Lean on your spirit when it's time to go. You can't be talking about you leaning on God or you trusting God when you ain't even in touch with your own spirit. Get in touch with your spirit, man. They are two separate entities, man. That's why when you die, you give up the ghost. The spirit leaves the body. You have two people with you at all times. You have you. You have the connection to the world and you have the connection to God. Your spirit is your connection to God and you are the connection to the world for your spirit. Work in tandem with your spirit. Understand that you and your spirit are a team. You and your spirit man are on the same side. Your spirit man works for you. You work for him. You two can do anything in the world if you trust one another and rely on one another to do your part. Trust yourself, man. Trust yourself, man. You can't trust God if you don't trust yourself, because you are your liaison to God. You can't skip past yourself and go to God. Trust yourself, man. You know damn well you're going to do the best thing for you if it's within your power, so trust yourself on that. Stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting that you can do whatever you want to do. Stop letting things from the past hold you back. Those things don't even matter no more. Okay, your parents didn't do this right. Okay, they were dumb in that area. Fine, we're all dumb in some area. This ain't no disrespect to your parents, but they were dumb in that area. They didn't know how to parent properly in that area. Okay, get over it. Figure out how to fix what they didn't do. If you thought they should have been more caring, you be more caring for yourself. If you thought they should have been firmer with you, you be firmer with yourself. If you thought they should have been more understanding with you, you be more understanding with yourself. If you thought they should have paid more attention to what they taught you and what you learned and what you read, okay, you become a connoisseur of what you read and what you learn and what you take in. Hey, man, I don't want to hear no more men in here, man. Don't come to me. Don't book a consultation with me or nothing, man. If you ain't ready to let the past go, if you feel sorry for yourself, any man who feels sorry for himself is not ready to move on. And I don't want to waste your money and my time. You could do anything you want to do. You can overcome anything you want to overcome. You just got to take on the responsibility of doing it. See, let me tell you, man, what you got to do, brothers. You got to use your logical, wise, understanding mind to help shelter, protect, and balance the emotionally scarred aspect of your being. You have to use your mind to protect your emotions. And when you use your mind to protect your emotions, you will never let your emotions lead you, because you understand that they're so weak, they need to be protected by your mind. So how can you ever let your emotions lead your mind when you understand that your mind has to protect your emotions? It's like the man with the gun walking in behind the man with the knife. It doesn't make sense. You have to do it, man. When I see men being led by their emotions, I'm like, bro, you are suppressing your own mind. You have to suppress your mind to be led by your emotions. Your mind is meant to gird you. It is meant to protect you. The information and knowledge of how to protect you comes from your spirit, comes from your interaction with the Most High. That's your spirit, man. But you do not allow your emotions to lead you at all, man. They are weak. They are fragile. They are easily affected. Men blow their brains out because of pain, not because they're not smart, not because they don't know any better. Men blow their brains out because of pain and frustration, because of emotional turmoil, man. The failures of your own parents are the blueprint for you to establish the do's and don'ts of parenting your own children. Any man who has children, any man who plans on having children. The failures of your own parents are the blueprint for you to establish the do's and don'ts of parenting your own children. But guess what? They are equally effective if used to parent your own inner child. Become the parent that you would want to be and use that parent to heal your inner child, to make your inner child understand it's okay to be a messed up individual based on how you were raised. Now let's see how we can help you heal and become a whole individual. It's okay to feel self-hatred or hatred for others or whatever you feel based on how you were raised. Now let's get to a deeper understanding of that and see how we can move on past it and become a whole being. It's okay if you were molested as a child to have questions about your sexuality, but let's get to the bottom of that and get to that. Let's clear that issue up, so you can understand that, yes, you were taken advantage of as a child. Some adult who should be somewhere rotting in a prison right now, but probably is not, took advantage of you as a child. As a man, as a boy, you can't keep buying into that makes you a weak man unless you allow that to happen as a man. You can't allow things that were beyond your control as a child to determine a negative outlook you have about yourself as a man, as a woman even. You can't allow those things to make you feel like you're an inadequate adult. We all have our issues from our childhood, man. All of us do. None of us had perfect, even those who had the very best childhoods can point back to some things that happened in their childhood, man, that they wish they could go back and change. Some of us just have more of those things. But regardless of how many you have, if you've got one, if you got 10, you heal them all the same way. The best way to start this process, man, is you have to understand that a complete honesty about what we lacked in childhood from our parents is the foundation of this healing process. I know we're all taught your parents are great, love your parents, blah, blah, blah. But if your parents sucked as parents, you got to accept that, especially if you still interacting with them in a way that would lead people to believe that they were amazing parents. It is perfectly okay for you to make your parents understand that they failed. It is perfectly okay. Because let me tell you what happens. When someone has failed you in a major way and you continue to treat them like someone who hasn't failed you in a major way, it is a total and complete spiritual and emotional drain on you, man. It is an emotional drain on you for you to continue to, it's kind of like, you know, let's say you have someone who steals from you. It's kind of like if you're an employer and you have an employee that's embezzling money from you. You know they're embezzling money and you just keep them hired on and just let them keep embezzling money year after year after year after year. And you know, the more you let them go, the more they embezzle. Now they hitting you up for $100,000 a month, $100,000 a month, a real dent in the profit. And you just keep them on. You never say anything. You just let them think it's okay. Would you do that? If you got an old lady, man, and every time you cut her, man, you know, y'all been together for a while, you done start cutting her out, man. Every time you cut her, man, you end up with an STD. Then she go get it cleared up. You go get it cleared up. Y'all back at it, man. She convinced you to get comfortable again, man. You cut her again, man. You got another STD. How many times you going to keep doing that? How many times you going to keep doing that? If you're a woman with a child and you keep telling the child father, hey, I need you to help me. I need, you know, this is how much this costs. I need you to give me this much. I got the rest of it. Trying to work with the fella. You understand? Trying to give him an opportunity to do something. He ain't even got to do it all. And he said, okay, I got you. And then when the time comes, you got to pay for it all on yourself. And then you do it again. Something else come up. Time come, you can't even get in touch with him. You got to pay for it all on yourself. Okay, now it's time. School about to start. School clothes need to be bought. You tell him, okay, I need you to do the school clothes, and then I'll pay for the tuition and all that right there. And then he says, okay, and then you pay for you get school. Well, you pay for the tuition. School get ready to come. All the school clothes sold out. He ain't went nowhere. You can't find him. Can't get in touch with him. Are you gonna keep listening to that man, or are you gonna take him down there and get the people involved? You have to take it upon yourself to do the necessary things in your life. And people may not like it. Somebody's going to always tell a woman, you shouldn't go down there and put that man on child support. Well, hell, if that boy 3 years old and that man ain't never gave her a quarter, she's supposed to go put that fool on child support. Well, man, his money ain't right. I don't give a damn. The baby's still in the world. He better go get his money right. Now, that's real, man. Q Maldonado, man. Appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. Appreciate it, fam. You know, the reality of the situation is this, man. In real time, childhood is a very short, very small window of our lives. Very small window of our lives. But the inner child lives on as long as you do and must be parented constantly by its wiser, smarter, more experienced adult version. Your parents have long ago retired from parenting you. It is your job to self-parent. And hopefully this particular joint has given you at least some of the ammo you need in order to do that. Mod Squad, I appreciate y'all brothers, man. D Flemings, Golden Child, SJ3. Appreciate y'all being in the building doing y'all thing, man. The brother Elijah Jones II, man. Appreciate the big sponsorship, man. I appreciate all the other super chats, man. Amizi, appreciate it, bro. Q Maldonado, appreciate it, bro. Simeon, I appreciate it, man. And we gonna head on out of here, man. I appreciate y'all being in the joint. Hey, man, share this joint with anybody you feel like needs to hear it, man. And I'm gonna do the same, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's make it move. Salute to the Alpha Sphere. Salute to the Kingdom of Ray. We out.